Called the P3, it looked as sleek as a GT40. And at just 37.4 inches tall, it was even lower.
Let's be a little bit careful on this narrow road. It's worth £20 million.
Where the GT40 boasted a top speed of over 210 miles an hour, the P3 maxed out at just 190. But Enzo Ferrari was willing to trade outright speed for gains elsewhere.
The Ferrari was lighter, it was more agile. Ferrari reckoned he could make up the difference in the bends, and he wouldn't have to stop so often for fuel.
A David and Goliath battle was looming. At the 1966 Le Mans race, Ford arrived with an armada. 8 cars, 20 tons of spares, and a squad of world-class drivers, including Ken Miles himself. In comparison, Ferrari turned up with just a trio of P3s, but Enzo had an ace up his sleeve. The undisputed fastest driver on the planet, Formula One world champion, John Surtees.
He had come to me and said, "John, we've got to beat the Fords. Go out and do it." I thought there was only one tactic, to have at least one car be the hare. I said, "Look, I don't mind being the hare. The moment that flag goes down, we need to be bang off, tempting the Ford drivers to perhaps overdrive a little bit. If one could push them hard enough for long enough, then there is more likelihood, obviously, of being able to break them."
The plan was set, but as 0 hour approached, everything unravelled.
Shortly before the start of the race, we learned that he wasn't going to drive, and we asked him about it.
Yes, unfortunately, you've heard correct. I won't be driving.
What is the reason?
Well, I suppose it is best summed up at this stage by saying political reasons.
The problem was that the Ferrari team manager was playing his own political game. He had no particular liking for Surtees, and he nominated another driver to go out and start the race, to be the hare, even though Surtees was clearly the fastest man available.
And I just stormed away, drove back and had it out with the old man. As the Italian papers put it, they showed a picture of me walking out the gates and saying, "The divorce of John Surtees and Enzo."
With Surtees out of the way, the Fords took the top 4 slots in qualifying. And as the clock ticked down, Henry Ford II prepared to drop the flag, praying that this time he would get his revenge.
Live from Le Mans, France, it's the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
At first, the Fords stormed into the lead, but a few hours in, it was beginning to look like a depressing repeat of 64 and 65. As night fell, the Ferraris, using their greater agility and their greater fuel efficiency, were leading the race 1-2. 4 of the 8 GT40s were out of the race altogether. Worse still, the Ford drivers had strict orders not to go balls out, for fear of breaking the cars. But one man wasn't listening to those orders. Ken Miles put the hammer down, set blistering lap times, and retook the lead for Ford. The Ferraris had no response to this crushing pace, and by morning they had either broken down or crashed.